Previously on my channel, I said this during my Queen V video. This episode also makes me hopeful for the future, considering people make the same complaints about Millie, so hopefully, when she gets her own episode to shine, it will be just as good as Queen Bee. Surprisingly, I didn't have to wait that long after saying that for us to get an episode focusing on Millie. After waiting for 1.5 seasons, we kinda got our wish with the episode Unhappy Campers. Yes, I know it has other things that the episode focuses on, but this is the first time we're seeing an episode focus on Millie. So how does this episode go? It wasn't worth the wait for Millie to get more of a focus in the series. Before we begin, don't forget to like this video if you enjoy it and comment your thoughts after watching it. Not only does it help my channel grow, but I also love hearing what everyone has to say when making these videos. Also, it helps me know what topics I should consider covering in future videos. With all that out of the way, let's start by looking at who Millie is. Millie is one of the employees of IMP and the wife of Moxie. Before Unhappy Campers, Millie's character was that she was a badass who was also supportive of her husband. She's also Southern, if you couldn't tell by her voice.
The Harvest Moon Festival?
How's my deadly little pumpkin spice doing?
I'm good, Pa. Thanks for letting us stay here for the Harvest Jamboree.
Besides that, there wasn't that much more about her. As I said previously in my videos, fans had complained that Millie wasn't getting any development compared to everyone else. Even Luna got more moments of development, such as in Spring Broken when she argued with Blitz. Even then, Millie still shows up more than her, but lacks any major moments that develop her as a character. Again, all she had was being a badass female who loved her husband. And let me clarify something. Having a badass female isn't a problem. There are numerous examples of that very thing in media that are done well. However, just having a female character being a badass isn't what makes them a good character. In comparison, look at Urza from Fairy Tail. Yes, Urza is also a badass female and has several moments in Fairy Tail that proves that. However, while there are moments like Urza fighting over 100 monsters at once, there are also moments of Urza showing her personality. For example, not only did we see Urza's backstory, we saw that Urza has been getting in between Natsu and Grey fighting since they were little kids. Her doing that led up to the moment in the Alvarez arc where she gets between Natsu and Grey to stop them from killing each other and asking if they're enemies or friends. My point is that we see in her backstory why she loves Fairy Tail, and that it wasn't just a running joke to have Urza break up fights between Natsu and Grey. It was building up to this moment where Urza reminded the two of them that they are on the same side and shouldn't be trying to kill each other, while also reminding them that she does care about the both of them. That's what makes her a great character. Now, it is true there is more to Millie than just being a badass. She's also kind of supportive to those she cares about, especially her husband, Moxie. However, that creates another problem with her character. That problem being that she just feels like a supporting character all the time. So let me clarify this before going further. Being a supporting character isn't bad. Since Blitz is the main focus, characters like Moxie, Millie, and Luna are in the supporting cast. However, Millie is the odd one out of all three. Let me explain, starting with Moxie. Regarding focus, Moxie is the second main character, at least in the first season. Not only is he interacting with Blitz the most, but he also gets several episodes focusing on him and his growth. Even the first episode had a major focus on him having to feel comfortable with killing the target in the episode. Besides that example, there's also him in the Harvest Moon Festival, where he goes from trying to please Millie's parents to finally standing up to them. There's also Truth Seekers, where we see the inside of his head during a hallucination and then talking to Blitz. On top of that, we got his backstory in Season 2 with X's and O's. Then there's Luna, who is more popular despite having less screen time than Millie.
Come on, you know why.
I swear, I am trying to come up with a better running joke. Despite Luna's lack of screen time, she's gotten more focus. The first example is Spring Broken, when she argues with Blitz and reveals she was almost 18 when he adopted her. Then, Luna was the focus of Queen Bee, as it revealed more of her insecurities and having trouble interacting with others, while also showing she cares about Blitz despite acting like she hates him. Also, like Moxie, we got her backstory in Season 2 with Seeing Stars, which shows she grew up in an adoption center where we saw someone threaten her when Blitz finally walked by her cell. Again, Millie's never had any of this in the series. She's neither had an episode focused on her or played that big of a part in an episode like everyone else. However, as I said earlier, she kinda has more of a focus in the latest episode, Unhappy Campers. So was it worth it? Well, let's start by looking at the episode itself. For Moxie and Millie's story, the episode revolves around Moxie being in charge of a mission, since Blitz is busy looking for his sister. However, Moxie lets it go to his head, making him stay longer despite Millie pointing out that she's already spotted the target the minute they get there. That's not an exaggeration either. She points at the killer as Moxie goes over his convoluted plan.
Oh, that's definitely him. That bag's full of money and drugs and what looks like a drill one would use to poke holes in a boat.
However, because Millie supports her husband, she lets him go through with his plan instead. So let's get the obvious out of the way since I've heard others say it. Unhappy Campers isn't a Millie episode. Yes, Millie gets more of a focus, but in terms of the episode's B-plot, it's more Moxie's story as he tries to get the campers to like him for his plan, only to find it easy for Millie. Despite that still being part of his plan though, he gets jealous because, as I said, it comes easy for Millie to get everyone to like her. This also leads to him flipping out on her because of it.
All week it's been, oh, look at Millard. Isn't he great? Oh, look how talented Millard is.
Thankfully, Millie isn't putting up with that and immediately puts him in his place.
It matters how I feel about myself. And for once, I feel like I'm important. Like I'm somebody to be proud of.
Not only is this the first time we're seeing Millie have her time to shine, but we're also seeing her and Moxie fighting. Until now, we've only seen them getting along and supporting each other. This is the first time they've had an issue, and it's good to see. Yes, it does sound like a bad thing saying the two of them fighting is a good thing. However, it's something that happens in every relationship. Sometimes we have disagreements, and sometimes we're pushed to the point like Millie, where you have to stand up for yourself when your partner is out of line. For the record, Moxie was out of line in this scene. The minute they got there, Millie immediately pointed out the target and explained why it was him. However, Moxie ignored her because he wanted to go through with his complicated plan. Then he got upset that Millie was getting the attention he wanted and decided to remember the mission. Thankfully, Millie also clarifies how this mission would have been over sooner if Moxie really cared about that.
You could have finished that job anytime if you had just listened to me. But you wanted to do things your way. So fine, finish the job, go home if you want to, but I'm gonna have my moment with or without you.
I'm not trying to hate on Moxie, but he deserved Millie calling him out for his attitude. I get that he does want to be liked and let his ego go to his head during this mission, but that's no excuse to take his frustrations out on Millie. Thankfully, Moxie does learn his lesson and decides to be supportive when Millie needs him.
The best and most supportive person I've ever known. And the love of my life.
It's nice to see Moxie admit he was in the wrong and make it up to Millie by supporting her during her moment. It does show that when he realizes he screwed up, he tries to make things right. However, that does bring up an issue some have with this episode that I brought up earlier. The plot is really Moxie's story, not Millie's. While Millie is the one having her moment, the plot is more centered around Moxie going from trying to be popular to being jealous of Millie to deciding to support her. It's actually ironic, considering the episode is about him being jealous of Millie getting the spotlight, despite him being the focus of the plot. However, I don't think it's a bad thing that this is a Moxie story instead. Yes, I would love Millie to get her own episode, and I agree that she deserves it. However, the series needs to build up to it so it feels earned. In comparison, look at someone like Luna. Luna may have episodes that give her a focus now, but the first time we got anything like that was in Spring Broken, when she yelled at Blitz about almost being 18 when he adopted her. That led to the series expanding on her problems and her real feelings about Blitz and Queen Bee. Then we finally got her backstory in Season 2 with Seeing Stars and seeing why she has her issues, while again showing her real feelings for Blitz. My point is that it's not a bad thing this wasn't a Millie episode. We'll get one eventually, and I'm hopeful it will be another great episode. However, the one thing Millie deserves as much as her own episode is the build-up to it. Thankfully, this episode gave her a good starting point, similar to how Spring Broken was a good starting point for Luna to get more episodes focusing on her. Seeing Millie get upset and talk about finally feeling important already has fans talking about what that could mean. Some have theorized it's Millie talking about her past and having to compete with her siblings for attention. It's a theory I like, and I would love to see if it turns out to be true. That's what also excites me to see a Millie episode more than ever. Maybe that theory's true, or perhaps it's false. The important thing is it's an example of getting people talking about her. It shows that the fans care about her and want the series to give her her own episode like everyone else has gotten. And like I said with Queen Bee, I'm sure it will be worth it once we see it. Hey everyone, thanks again for checking out my video and staying till the end. As you can tell, there's a new avatar on my video. I thought it was time for a change, and as I said in my Queen Bee video, I'm a fan of black and yellow color schemes. Also, before closing this video, I wanted to discuss the Stolitz video I was working on. Since Viv has revealed that the next 2 episodes will be focused on Fizzarolli, I decided to delay my Stolitz video since we'll probably see more of his past relationship with Blitz. Seeing his past relationship would help with that Stolitz video, so it's delayed for now. Anyways, I want to hear your thoughts on this video. What are your thoughts on Millie as a character? Do you think Unhappy Campers was more of an episode about her or Moxie? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to see more of my content in the future. I'm Marco Strange. Stay safe, stay strange.